Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our one-of-one card discussion video today on the channel. This is a non-serialized copy of the One Ring card that I pulled from Lord of the Rings collector boosters. A lucky collector, I think they were in Canada, opened a serialized version that had a special gold foiling border and a one-of-one stamp on there. And that card sold to Post Malone yesterday for $2.6 million, making it the most expensive Magic card sold in history. And I thought I would do a quick discussion video today. I did record a 4th edition starter deck opening yesterday for my 400 subscriber celebration. So I think I'm going to post that video tomorrow, so stay tuned if you want to see me open a sealed starter deck of 4th edition cards. That starter deck is not worth $2.6 million, and there were no serialized cards in that set back in 1995. However, today's video, I was going to talk about the One Ring real quick. I did another video where I opened up some one-of-one serialized baseball cards. You can check those out. I think I'll link that video in the description so that you can see what other hobbies are doing with one-of-one serialized cards. But today's quick video is going to be about the One Ring one-of-one and two other one-of-one cards that Magic has printed in the 30-year history that are out there. I had thought about this yesterday, and then I think Open Boosters beat me to it and made a video about it last night or this morning. So check out Open Boosters video on the one-of-one serialized card, and the next card that I'll talk about, which is the 1996 World Championship card. I picked the Christopher Rush playmat today because there was the first ever one-of-one Magic card that was printed was the World Championship card that was given to the winner of the 1996 World Championships. That was Tom Chen-Feng, and this is a facsimile of the card. It's obviously oversized, but I printed it out so you could see what the card was. Casting cost was Wooburg, white, blue, black, red, green. The title of the card was 1996 World Champion. This is the art by Christopher Rush. It was a legendary creature. Power toughness was star, and then it has a wall of card text right there. I'll read that in a second. I'll get back to that, but that's the World Championship card. I checked on Magic Librarities, and this was the first one-of-one card ever printed by Magic. It was given to Tom Chen-Feng, as I said. He was from Australia, and he won the 1996 World Championships. The card was encased in lucite. It's about 7 to 10 inches high and 3 by 3 inches wide. It probably weighs, I don't know, 10, 20 pounds. And so they filled this case, this kind of trophy case, with acrylic material and encased this card inside of that trophy. So it looks like it's floating above a silver globe. And in 2001, it was sold to a private collector for $17,500. One sheet of the card was printed, but all other copies were destroyed, as well as the printing plates. At the event, there was a video showing the destruction of every other copy of the card on the one sheet that was printed. The card was embedded in the winning trophy. Kind of reminds me of the Rudy Gem Keeper cards, where Rudy printed a limited number of those and then burned the rest of them on camera. This is the original sketch by Christopher Rush of the World Championship card, and then here's a copy of the actual art. So it was painted on acrylic on illustration board, and the champion, who is Tom, pictured in this card with the jacket. It says that image was digitally all added after the painting was done. So the original painting has like kind of a silhouette of where the champion would stand with the jacket, and then they photoshopped in this picture of the champion in the back there with his jacket. So this is kind of my One Ring discussion. There, awesome. The card text, I'll read that too, because this is what got me thinking about this one of one card. It's a legend card, so you can only play one copy of this card on the battlefield, but I mean, technically you could play more than one copy in your deck, but there's only one copy ever printed. So the card text is that it cannot be the target of spells or effects. World Champion has power and toughness equal to the life total of target opponent, assuming that you would be only playing one opponent at a time. And so for 0 casting cost, you discard your hand to search your library for 1996 World Champion and reveal it to all players. Shuffle your library and put 1996 World Champion on top of your library. Use this ability only at the beginning of your upkeep and only if 1996 World Champion is in your library. And then the flavor text is, it takes great sacrifice to make it to the top. Illustration by Christopher Rush. So in theory, you'd have to cast this card for its casting cost and have it on the battlefield. And then you'd have to activate it for 0, discard your hand, search your library for another copy of this card, which is impossible because it's the only copy that was ever printed. And that is if you can get the card out of the acrylic holder that has been encased in, which I don't think you can without ruining the condition of the card. Now, Post Malone could crack out his PSA 9 one of one, the One Ring, and play with it. And I wonder if it'll ever show up on an episode of Game Nights where he sleeves up his $2.6 million One Ring for a game of casual EDH. I actually hope he does that, so please post if you're watching this video. Please crack out your PSA 9 One Ring and play with it in a casual game of EDH, maybe in Las Vegas. That would be a fun thing to watch. The other one of one card that was printed, this was printed, I believe, in 2003, looks like. This was called the Shichifukujn Dragon, and the Shichifukujn Dragon was created to celebrate the opening of the Japanese DCI Tournament Center in Tokyo, in Japan. All copies except one were destroyed. The remaining Shichifukujn Dragon was encased at the Tournament Center for public view, together with the original artwork of the card. The Tournament Center was closed in February in 2003, and the card was moved to the Hobby Japan head office where it currently resides. Shichifukujin is the name of 7 deities of good fortune of Japanese mythology, so otherwise known as the Lucky Dragon. They did print a number of life counters and deck boxes and sleeves with this image and this artwork on it. And as you can see, the original artwork was framed and matted with the original card, and then Christopher Rush signed it to all my friends at the DCI Tournament Center Japan, Christopher Rush. And so that's where it was originally hung and given as a gift, so there was no money exchange for this particular card or artwork that I know of. The World Championship card was recorded at selling for $17,500, and then later I think it sold for $200,000. And then obviously the One Ring just recently sold for $2.6 million. So these are the 3 one of one copies of cards in Magic's history. The One Ring is serialized, stamped on the card. The World Championship card is encased in acrylic trophy. The Shichifukujin Dragon is presumably adhered to a piece of matting board and then framed. So the One Ring was graded by PSA as a PSA 9. So this could be cracked out and played with. The Shichifukujin Dragon could possibly be removed and played with. The World Championship card cannot be played with. And even if you could play with the World Championship card, I don't think you'd be able to play it in a deck because you would need 2 copies of the card in order to activate its ability. So I find that very interesting. The Shichifukujin Dragon is a 0/0 dragon for 6 colorless and 3 red, and it's a dragon. And when Shichifukujn Dragon comes into play, you put 7 +1/+1 counters on it. Otherwise, it would die because it's a 0/0 dragon. It has no toughness. And for 3 red, you sacrifice 2 1/1 counters. You put 3 +1/+1 counters on Shichifukujn Dragon. At the end of the turn, play this ability as a sorcery. Okay, so I think that's all the information I had for you today on the 2 cards that were drawn by Christopher Rush, this artwork for the 1996 World Champion, the Shichifukujn Dragon that was done in, also 1996, but it was given to the hobby shop around 2003. That's when the hobby shop closed. So this was also a 1996 card. Neither were serialized, but I guess the discussion for today is, will Magic the Gathering, will Wizards of the Coast continue to serialize cards like the One Ring and make them exclusively chase cards, premium, insert them into collector's booster packs? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Was this information helpful to you? Had you heard about the 1996 World Championship card before? And if you did have it, would you play it in a deck as just kind of the ultimate like flex for your tournament deck, just to be like, I am the world champion, I won a championship, I can play with that card. There are a lot of elements of that in old school, where old school tournaments will give out signed cards that are altered or signed by the players. And so there's a lot of old school players that play with those cards in their decks as kind of like a flex. They're not always the best cards, but it's kind of cool that they won that card in a tournament and that they're making use of it in an old school deck later in its life cycle. And so obviously the dragon here, the Lucky Dragon, was commemorating the tournament center in Japan, so it probably won't see play ever unless the owner of the tournament center decides to take it out of the frame and play with it, but I don't think that'll happen. So let us know if you ever see the serialized One of Ring card show up in an EDH game. I'd like to see Post Malone crack that out and play with it. If you need help, I'm gonna make some videos. I'm gonna crack some alpha cards out of their cases. So stay tuned to watch some alpha cards being freed from their plastic holders and played with in Alpha 40. And thanks again for everyone who has helped us get to 400 subscribers. Stay tuned tomorrow for our 4th edition starter deck opening on the channel, where we're gonna try to pull a land tax and mana vault lightning bolts, also by Christopher Rush, in the deck tomorrow. So thanks everyone, have a great day.